Well, what we'd like to see is a little bit more determination, a little bit more closing people down, stealing the ball faster, taking the ball away, and just step it up in terms of aggression a little bit.
Make sure you're sticking up for one another and, have a little bit more bite and have a little bit more attitude, you could say. And that's what he meant. So, I mean, everybody understood, and, he emphasized that a few times. So, we're looking forward to doing that against Canada.
We need to have a bit more of an edge to us when we play. Naive is the biggest thing that I would say about that, just because, obviously everybody knows what goes on in the game within the game in soccer around the world. And I think just, maybe the U.S. as a whole, we're a little bit guilty of not playing into that.
Just overall, a little bit more nasty bite to us, and that comes with confidence and doing the right things. And I think that's what he meant by it. He didn't mean it in any vicious way.
That was not meant to be anything like hurting somebody or doing harm at anybody. No, it's just getting closing down the spaces earlier, reading the game a bit faster, and being ahead of the curve. That's what I meant with it. And hopefully we're going to show that tomorrow night. Every position we have certain expectations. We want to have every position played in a certain way. And so in order to get a bigger picture, we need to try things out, and we need to see the players in training games, or ideally, obviously, in real games, and see how they adjust to what we ask them to do.
It's the national team, you got good guys coming in trying to win their spot every game, and when you're out on the field, you need to perform to keep your position. So it's competition. You need that.
It's tough. There's you got Clarence, you got myself, and then you have Gooch and Carlos. Obviously Carlos is the captain. Gooch is up there with him, and it's a tough position to fight for. There's four guys in and out of rotation. But it's a long road ahead of us. We got qualifiers, we got friendlies, and more qualifiers, and then, in 2 years it's the World Cup.
We have four high-quality center backs. With Geoff Cameron and Clarence Goodson, as well as with Gooch and obviously with our captain. But you need to keep this competition alive. You need to tell every time when you get into camp that it's always a chase, a run for positions and for spots.
This is an opportunity in front of me that I want to take advantage of. But every day is you're fighting for a battle. You're fighting for a position. So it actually it helps out the team because you're pushing one another, and you're making the level of the play a little bit more.
It's hard all over the field with center backs. The central midfield is it's really deep on our team. We have a great. I think it just shows in almost every position on the field. We're getting better as a country.
We want to have the guys that don't start. We want them to put the other guys under pressure that they want to start. So I think it's a very live situation right now, and the guys they see that they taste it every day, and it's a good thing.